Happy Monday. We are here with Chris's Corner. It's a beautiful Monday. It's going to be a nice week. It's going to be nice and warm, luckily, after the frigid cold weekend we had. So, what's going to be your budget if you're thinking about buying a house? There's so many online calculators that people try to go on and try to estimate, hey, what's going to be my budget? What am I going to be looking at whenever you're thinking about looking for a home, looking for a house? And a lot of people they end up messing up because of that. They get so confused because there's a million. If you Google home buying calculator, mortgage calculator, you're gonna find tens and dozens, and there's just gonna be so many different factors. And while it can be useful, it can give you kind of a rough estimate. The thing is, your situation is so different from the next person. Your credit score, the loans, your debt to income. There are so many differences where I really want to people who are seriously considering moving in the next 6 months, a year, whatever it is, to stay away from those online calculators because they're just going to mess you up. They're going to give you the wrong expectations when you're going to look for a house. So when you're thinking about looking, you're gonna have to take these things into consideration. You're gonna have to take your credit score. You're gonna have to take care of your debt to income, any down payment size that you're planning on putting down, your work history. Those are just some of the things that are factored into what your home budget is going to be. So that's why I try to stay away from calculators because all calculators are going to do is they're going to take your income, they're going to take the house prices, your down payment, and they're just going to spit out this number that's not really going to be realistic. So what should you do instead of using an online calculator? This is where I highly recommend you talking to a lender, a loan mortgage officer. Talk to a real person. Talk to a real person who can talk about your situation and what's going on because they can guide you for the next 6 months, 12 months, 3 months, whatever the case for you. They can tell you, okay, let's put your numbers together. Let's actually find out what your individual situation is. If you have student loans, you have car loans, you have a home loan, a mortgage already, whatever it is for you, they can say, okay, let's look at your file. Let's see what your debt is. Let's see how much money you make. Let's actually get an accurate representation of what your credit score is and also your work history because your work history has a lot to do with qualifying for a mortgage as well. And they can wrap that all together and say, okay, here's where you stand right now. If you want to buy in 6 months, 12 months, here's what you need to do to get there. Or here's kind of what you can do so that you can improve your interest rate by the time you do buy. So I really, really recommend people looking for a mortgage loan officer before you start the process of actually using those online calculators. If you're looking to move soon, okay, this is even if it's 12 months out, it's a good idea to do so that you know what work you need to do beforehand. Because if you're doing all that prep work ahead of time, you're just going to be winning and you're just going to have that whole process so much smoother for you and just less headaches that people are going to find out when they do things last second. So, if you're wondering what your budget is for finding a house, please talk to a loan officer. They can check your info. They can usually it's not going to affect your credit score. People are scared about doing that because they think it's gonna cause their credit score to go down. It's not that's not the case. Usually it won't affect your credit score unless you're talking to like 10 people and you have 10 people doing credit checks on you. If that's the case, then yeah, it's probably going to impact your credit score. If you're just talking to one person, maybe two people max, and you're seeing what your situation is and they're going to check your credit, it's not going to have an impact on you. It's going to be fine. That's not something I would be concerned about. So if you're wondering what your budget's going to be, please talk to a loan officer. Stay away from those online calculators if you're seriously thinking about doing something in the next 6 to 12 months. So that's about it. Hopefully this was helpful, gave you some information. If you have any questions about this, any questions other about the home buying process that you're kind of fuzzy about, you're kind of scared about, you're not sure about, send me a message. I'll be happy to answer it. I'll be happy to answer it next week on our next live on Chris's Corner. So if you have any questions, let me know. Otherwise, I hope you have a beautiful week. It should be a nice week, at least over here in the Chicagoland area. I'm not sure where you're at, but hopefully it's sunny and hopefully you guys have a good week.